A royal biographer just dropped a bombshell that has everyone talking. His exact words? There is worse to come. And he's talking about Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor, the man who used to be called Prince Andrew. After 3 million documents just got released by the US Department of Justice, you would think we've seen it all. But apparently, we haven't even scratched the surface. Meanwhile, Sarah Ferguson is literally facing a housing crisis, and according to experts, neither of them will ever recover from this. So grab your tea because we need to unpack everything that just happened. And trust me, this story is absolutely wild from start to finish. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button because we cover all the royal drama. And honestly, there has never been more drama than right now. So here's the situation. Over the weekend, Andrew was spotted for the first time since these documents dropped. He was just casually driving his car and riding horses in Windsor like everything is normal. But let me tell you, nothing about his situation is normal right now. The things that came out in these documents are genuinely shocking, and royal experts are saying this is just the beginning. Let's start from the very beginning so you have all the context you need. Okay, so let's rewind a bit. Andrew stepped down from royal duties back in 2019 after that now infamous BBC Newsnight interview. You probably remember it, the one where he tried to explain everything and somehow made things 1,000 times worse. The internet had a field day with that one, but things stayed relatively quiet for a while. Sure, people talked about it, but Andrew was kind of just living his life at the Windsor mansion, staying out of the spotlight. He probably thought the worst was behind him. Then everything changed. New documents started getting released, a memoir was published, and suddenly all eyes were back on Andrew and his past connections. The scrutiny was intense, and it wasn't going away this time. King Charles basically had enough. He made the official decision to strip Andrew of his HRH style and his prince title. This is huge because these titles meant everything to Andrew's identity and his place in the royal family. Without them, he's essentially just a regular person named Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor. No more Your Royal Highness, no more Prince, just Andrew. Now, let's talk about what actually came out in these 3 million documents, because this is where things get really intense. First revelation, Andrew apparently invited someone to dinner at Buckingham Palace, and the timing, right after house arrest ended. We're talking about having dinner at one of the most prestigious locations in the entire world, the actual palace, and the timing of this invitation is raising so many questions. But wait, there's more. There are photographs in these documents, disturbing photographs that appear to show Andrew in some very compromising positions. I can't go into full detail because we want to keep this video appropriate, but let's just say the images are not what you'd expect from someone who was once considered a senior royal. Then there's the email situation. Screenshots and scans appear to show Andrew exchanging messages about meeting a 26-year-old Russian woman who was described as beautiful. These aren't just rumors or speculation anymore. These are actual documented communications that are now public record. The thing about document dumps like this is that once it's out there forever. You can't take it back, you can't spin it, it just exists for everyone to see and analyze and discuss, and people are definitely discussing it. Now here's where the story takes another turn, because Sarah Ferguson is wrapped up in all of this too. In the documents, there's an email that appears to show Sarah thanking someone and calling them, and this is a direct quote, "the brother I have always wished for." She wrote those words. It's documented now. And this is especially wild because publicly, Sarah had completely distanced herself. She had disowned any connection in the media. But behind the scenes, apparently she was sending messages like this. Royal historian Andrew Lowney, who literally wrote a biography about Andrew and Sarah, did not hold back when speaking to the Daily Mail. He said Sarah's close relationship was equally damaging. He said their reputations are absolutely in the dust. And then he said the part that really stuck with me. Neither of them can ever recover from what has been emerging. Think about that for a second. A royal expert who has studied these two extensively is saying they will never recover. Not that it will be hard to recover, not that it will take time, never. That's a permanent verdict on their public image, and honestly, looking at everything that's come out, it's hard to disagree. Because of Andrew losing his titles, Sarah also lost her Duchess title. She's back to being Sarah Ferguson. No more Her Royal Highness, no more Duchess of York, just Sarah. And she's facing consequences she probably never imagined. Okay, so let's talk about the living situation, because this is genuinely kind of sad when you think about it. Andrew and Sarah lost their Windsor mansion. This wasn't just any house. This was previously home to the Queen Mother herself. We're talking about a historic royal residence that most people could only dream of living in, and now they had to leave. The reason they lost it is directly connected to all the revelations about their past relationships and connections. The royal family essentially said, "Enough is enough. You can't stay here anymore." So where is Andrew going? Reports say he's being relocated to Sandringham, which, okay, that's still a royal property, so it's not like he's moving into a regular apartment. But here's the tea that nobody expected. Sarah won't be going with him. According to sources, Sarah would prefer to stay in the Windsor area. She doesn't want to move to Sandringham. So now you have this former couple who have been living together even after their divorce, suddenly facing completely separate housing situations. And it gets even more complicated. A source told The Times that relations are warmer between Sarah and their daughters, Beatrice and Eugenie. That makes sense, right? They're her kids. But here's the thing. No offer of permanent accommodation has been extended to their mother. Their own daughters haven't offered Sarah a place to stay permanently. The source literally described it as a housing crisis. Those are the actual words used. A housing crisis. For someone who was once a member of the royal family, someone who lived in palaces and mansions, now facing a housing crisis because she can't find a permanent place to live. The source also said something that really captures the whole situation. They said Andrew and Sarah may have to lower their expectations about the sort of lifestyle they wish to lead. That's a polite way of saying their days of living like royalty are completely over. Let's zoom out for a second and look at what this all means for the royal family as a whole. King Charles is clearly trying to clean house. He's making it very clear that certain behaviors and certain associations will not be tolerated in his monarchy. Stripping his own brother of royal titles is a massive statement. It shows that family connections will not protect you if you become a liability to the crown. This also affects how the public views the entire institution. Every time a story like this comes out, it raises questions about what else might be hidden, what other connections existed, what other secrets are in those 3 million documents that we haven't fully analyzed yet. And remember what Andrew Lowney said, there is worse to come. He's a historian who has studied this family extensively. He has access to information and sources that regular people don't have. When someone like that says worse is coming, you have to take it seriously. The royal family has survived scandals before. They survived the abdication crisis. They survived various controversies over the decades. But the difference now is that we live in the age of document dumps and digital records. Everything gets preserved. Everything can be released. There's no controlling the narrative anymore when millions of documents are just out there for anyone to read. So what's next for Andrew and Sarah? Honestly, it's hard to say. Andrew will presumably move to Sandringham and try to live a quiet life away from the spotlight. But with a royal biographer saying more revelations are coming, that quiet life might not last very long. Every time new information drops, the media attention comes right back. Sarah's situation is even more uncertain. She needs to find a place to live. She wants to stay in the Windsor area, but apparently doesn't have a permanent option yet. Her own daughters haven't offered her a room. She's essentially on her own trying to figure out her next chapter. There's also the question of finances. Without royal titles and without royal residences, where does the money come from? Andrew reportedly has some personal wealth, but maintaining any kind of lifestyle similar to what he's used to requires serious resources. And Sarah has had financial struggles in the past that were very public. The days of state dinners and palace events are over for both of them. The days of being addressed as Your Royal Highness are over. The days of being considered part of the royal inner circle are definitely over. What's left is two people in their 60s trying to figure out how to live normal lives after being anything but normal for decades. And that's where we are right now. 3 million documents released, titles stripped, mansions lost, a housing crisis for a former duchess, and a royal biographer warning that there's still worse to come. I genuinely want to know what you think about all of this. Is there any coming back from something like this? What do you think is in those documents that we haven't seen yet? And honestly, do you feel bad for them at all, or do you think they're getting what they deserve? Drop your thoughts in the comments because I read every single one. And this is the kind of story where I really want to hear different perspectives. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're going to be following this story closely because if the experts are right, this is far from over.